Hello everyone, thank you for visiting my channel. In this video, I have a Dell Precision 5510 laptop. I'm going to show you how to open it up, access your storage in case you want to replace or upgrade your hard drive or solid state drive. So first thing, power down the computer the correct way. Make sure it's off and unplugged from your charger. We're then going to flip the computer over to access our bottom case screws. Now you have a total of 10 screws, 4 along the bottom here of my screen, 4 along the top of my screen, and then 1 on either side, left and right towards the middle. After that, this little panel here, you're going to flip it up. There's going to be a little groove right here. You're going to put a little flat metal pry tool in there, pop this panel up, and there'll be a screw in this corner and a screw in this corner as well to take up this bottom case. After all the screws have been removed, you're going to take a small flat pry tool. I suggest a plastic pry tool as it will scratch your computer far less than a metal one will. You're going to go across the seam of the bottom case and pry it up from the computer. It's probably best to start from the top corner of my screen here or here near your hinge covers. And if you get stuck at a certain area, leave it, go to the other side and continue in the other direction. Last thing to shout out about this, make sure you don't put the pry tool too far in. There are internal components near the edge. You could damage something. Just keep the pry tool right on the edge and slowly pop that bottom case up. After the bottom case has been removed, this is what you're looking at for the inside of your computer. Now, as a general computer repair side note, whenever I'm working on a computer in my shop, I have it sitting on an anti-static mat. Either that or an anti-static bracelet are great ideas to use to avoid damaging anything in your computer when you're working on it. I will have a link above. Also below in the description, it'll take you to a list of all the supplies and tools that I use in my shop, along with some recommended accessories. Now, before I do anything in a computer, I always remove or at least unplug my battery. A computer is safest to work on when as little power as possible is running through it. Now, the plug to your battery is right here in the top right-hand corner of your battery. Now, this goes for any cables or any wires in any computer that you work on. Try never pulling on the actual wires. If at all possible, try to just manipulate that plug. And as you can see here, there's a little lip on that plug right there, a little one on the right. If you can use a small flat pry tool, you may be able to wiggle that out without pulling on these wires. If you do need to pull on the wires, grip all of them and very slowly, gently wiggle that plug out. You want to be very careful when pulling on wires in a computer. To remove the battery, you see this little notation here, M2x4. Those are M2 screws times 4 of them. So there's 2 of them right here near the arrows, and then 2 down here near the arrows. That's how you would unplug your battery. Now, this is your hard drive over here, bottom left of my screen. It's sitting inside a hard drive caddy, which is very typical in a laptop. This keeps the hard drive in place, stops it from shifting. So there are 4 screws here, 1 in this corner, 1 in this corner, 1 in this corner, and 1 in that corner. That's holding down the caddy. So you would unscrew those 4 screws, take this metal caddy off and out of there, and the hard drive plugs in right here. There's a cable with a SATA port, SATA, that plugs into the hard drive here and snaps onto the motherboard here. So you would pull it out of this port to unplug the hard drive. If you were going for this cable, you would grab this black pull tab and just pull that straight up and off of your motherboard to unhook it. After getting the hard drive out, there are still 2 little rubber caddies on either side, the long way here and the long way here. Those just peel off. Again, that's to make sure that this thing really sets in there nice and tight and doesn't move. But that's how you would release the hard drive. If you're looking to replace or upgrade it, this is a 2.5-inch hard drive, SATA drive as mentioned earlier, SATA. So you would look for that kind of hard drive to replace it with. Most of you stock will have either a 256 gigabyte drive or a 500 gigabyte drive. There will be a list below in the description with all of the upgrade and replacement parts for this specific model computer. I'll try to have several options in there. I'll try to have a 500 gigabyte option and a terabyte option if you guys are looking to upgrade this. Also, a cool thing about this is you can get a solid state drive in here as well. They make solid state drives in this casing, a 2.5-inch SATA drive, but it's a solid state drive. Those are faster and they typically break less often than a hard drive does. So I'll also include a couple options for that. Again, 500 gigabyte and 1 terabyte. If you're really looking to upgrade your storage, maybe you notice right here above the hard drive location, there's an M.2 solid state drive port. So that's kind of a cool feature of this laptop is you can really upgrade your storage right there. To get the solid state drive in, you would just plug it into this port right here, and you would take a single screw and screw it down there. And that's how you would insert that solid state drive. So in that link I told you about, I will also include a couple options up here for an M.2 solid state drive. And I'll put a few different options, maybe a 256 gig, a 500, and a terabyte. What some people do, if you don't want to spend a lot of money upgrading, is they'll put a small solid state drive in, they'll run their operating system on that drive, and then the cheaper, larger hard drive, they just use as storage. So that's one strategy you can go with your computer. And I guess the last thing I can shout out about this operation, if you are replacing or upgrading your storage, you most likely are going to need to install an operating system onto the new storage device, your hard drive or a solid state drive. So I will have two more links below in the description. One will show you how to install Windows 10 onto a Dell laptop. The other will show you how to install Windows 11 onto a Dell laptop. So that's the video. I hope it was helpful. Please feel free to subscribe if you enjoy DIY computer content like this, but also if you just want to keep me on hand to answer any of your computer questions. I do try to answer all questions and comments at least a couple times a day. But make sure you do check out the FAQs below in the description. It could save you some time getting an answer to commonly asked questions. So thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you on my next video.